Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have something very special for you guys. We have a double vintage Serge Lutens unboxing. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I always enjoy reading all of your thoughts on all the videos. Today we're expanding my Serge Lutens collections with some fragrances that have been very difficult for me to track down. One is Musk's Kublai Khan, and the other is actually a vintage bottle of Serge. Now, I've never owned Musk's Kublai Khan, and I actually blind bought this because when you see this particular version pop up, you don't wait to buy it, okay? This is apparently kind of a flex to own. I didn't buy it for the flex, but this is a Palais Royal vintage version of Musk's Kublai Khan. You can tell by the little symbol down in the bottom middle of the label. And this version of Serge is, I believe, from 2011. I've owned Serge for probably about a year and a half. I'm very familiar with the modern formulation, but I sold that one off and I said, I'm going to get a properly old bottle, and a friend of mine was selling this one. I believe this is sealed from 2011. So this is a pretty old bottle of Serge. First, I'll talk about Musk's Kublai Khan. This fragrance I was kind of terrified of, actually, for the longest time. And even though I have a very extensive selection of Serge Lutens fragrances, I kind of just ignored it, even though I knew it was one of the most popular from the brand, even though it was also one of the most polarizing from the brand. And in general, I'm not that big of a musk fragrance guy. Like, it never really jumps out to me as something that I thought I would enjoy, but wow. Like I said, I bought this without smelling it because I'm just a weirdo, and this rare version popped up. This is beyond stunning. Like, I'm so surprised that it didn't really challenge me as much as I thought, and that's probably because I've smelled a lot of stuff at this point. To the uninitiated, maybe this would come off as extremely challenging, but to me, Musk's Kublai Khan is kind of just like a purring cat, like you see right there, right? It's kind of just this slight animalic growl. It has this constant sweetness, though, that offsets it, that keeps it from being too challenging. I think it honestly might be a little bit of vanilla. But yeah, it's a sort of warm, musky, furry, enveloping, cozy sort of smell. On skin, it opens up and becomes a lot fuller, but there's always that sweetness that's offsetting everything, and it's just so well balanced. This actually occupies a fairly unique spot in my collection. I don't have anything that smells even remotely close to that. So yeah, that's Musk's Kublai Khan. Obviously, this is a vintage formulation. I've never smelled the modern. I would imagine the modern would be still in pretty good shape, but just looking at the bottle one more time, in my opinion, this is pretty much the apex of aesthetics. I mean, just look at the label, the colors, the text, the font, I mean, the placement, everything. You don't get a better bottle proportionally than this. I really feel like they should go back to this old style presentation. What they're doing with the new stuff at Serge Lutens, where the whole front is just one big sticker and it's not really that well thought through, in my opinion. It's aesthetically just worse. They should definitely go back to that. Okay, now let's get to maybe the main event for some of you. Vintage Serge unboxing. Let's break the seal together. This has been sealed since, I believe, 2011. So, the seal is broken. And there we have it. So, if you've never unboxed a Serge Lutens, they will come actually with no atomizer in it. You have to screw the atomizer in yourself, and I'll just show you guys if you've never experienced this before. So the box comes with the atomizer, right? You get these old, this is the old style cap for it. It is metal instead of plastic. Serge Lutens, don't cheap out on that, okay? That's a little bit ridiculous. And then the bottle is in here. And oh my God, this is so dark. Wow. Look at that. The first time it's seen light since 2011. Oh my God, look at how dark that is. So in terms of Serge, first of all, the bottle is absolutely beautiful. This is after the Palais Royale version, so I believe they just call it the SL logo bottle. But in terms of Chergui, I mentioned I've owned the modern formulation for almost 2 years. I have extensive experience with it, so I should be able to pick up any differences with this version. And I've just heard so much about vintage Chergui from Serge Lutens collectors, people that I really, really, value their opinions. They always told me, oh, why don't you get a vintage? Why don't you get a vintage? It's so much fuller and richer and deeper. Okay, guys, let's see. The atomizer is on. I'm just going to go straight on skin with this. So let's... Right. Vintage Chergui. So Chergui, for people that aren't familiar with the scent profile, it's this beautiful hay, tobacco, honeyed, sweet, beautiful, sort of ambery, warm smell. It is absolutely to die for. And I can already smell it in the air. Okay. So, I have to be honest, immediately, I'm not getting much of a difference. If anything, it's maybe just a little bit stronger. But I've always perceived Chergui to be a very diffusive fragrance. I've never really had performance issues with it, but this is actually really strong. This is very, very strong. Obviously, it's been sitting in here for a while, so I imagine it's gotten not macerated, but it's had time to mingle in the bottle. Yeah, it's just like, it's Chergui, but I'd say like 10% just better, right? It seems a little bit fuller. It seems a little bit richer. It's actually less sweet. This is more of like a leafier tobacco to my nose. And that hay thing is a little bit more herbaceous as well. The hay itself is actually giving it some of that warmth. Luca Turin famously said that hay absolute, which is apparently the material you get from extracting, hay, is one of the most beautiful materials he's ever smelled, and it's criminally underutilized. Wow. I can see what people are talking about. I really can. So, in terms of whether or not I regret either of these beautiful purchases, no. The answer is absolutely not. These will likely never leave the collection. You'll have to pry these out of my cold, dead hands. Obviously, these are still really, really early impressions regarding these two particular perfumes. I'm going to, of course, give them a lot of wear experience and a lot of time, particularly in the colder months. I think both of these scent profiles, they lend themselves to more cozier atmospheres. Maybe not Musk's Kublai Khan, because I could see that potentially being offensive, but I don't know, guys. I think it's sexy. I think it's one of the sexiest fragrances I've ever smelled. It's got this... it's like a purr. It really is. I can't describe it any other way. But okay. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite Serge Lutens fragrances are in the comment section. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.